All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Let's get started today with an incredible new video. This time, we're going to be talking about how to rewire reality. It's going to be a very interesting topic. And I want you to really ponder on this topic because it's going to be a transmission coming through the Primal Sutra Nexus. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to start the transmission. But first and foremost, I just want to change some settings around and send it over to the tribe. If you're not part of the tribe yet, go and join the Telegram group. Then you're going to know when I'm going to go live. Okay. Let's get it. Upward spiral. Perfect. Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tapping in. Let's get ready. Okay, let's get ready to rumble, as Uncle Makara would say. I am Uncle Makara. Okay, I am Uncle Makara. I've taken on this moniker, this role, this spiritual world. To be a gatekeeper of flow state wisdom. Okay. So welcome back to the channel. I hope that you had an incredible day. Today is a portal day. Now, what does a portal day mean? It means you have a chance to shift out of your timelines. Okay. However, there's a small nuance that I want to mention to you guys, which is, and I had just taken a screenshot if I remember correctly. You don't quantum leap, you generate the quantum field around your stabilized frequency. Okay? You don't quantum leap, you generate the quantum field around your stabilized frequency. All right? So now that we know this, right, this is going to change the way that we perceive quantum leaping or quantum jumping. Because it's more about stabilization of the vibration that you truly prefer. Okay, are we getting this? Right? Smooth. Yo, Ryan G. Mathis, what's good? All right, so I'm going to tap into the Nexus. Get ready. Stretch the body. Drink some water. This one's going to be a good one. The first thing they're reminding me is a quote. Just tune in, activating Primal Sutra Nexus. I just need a little bit of time to tap in. Okay. Hope they're ready. Perception is controlled hallucination, they're saying. Your perception is your own expectation, and the information from the world is just a training signal. Okay. I want to answer a question that Philip asked on the positive psychology live stream that I did. Okay, Philip Willick. He had asked the question, which is a very good question, about when you talk about losing ego in trance states or flow, do you mean even the positive traits and egregores as well? Or just becoming pure awareness, right? This is a very intelligent question from a higher advanced student, next level. So I'm going to answer it from that space. So when I talk about losing ego in trance states or flow, yes, even the positive traits and egregores dissolve temporarily. It is not about destroying them. It's about entering a state that is beyond identification. Okay? So even positive structures are still structures of the self, right? So in deep flow or trance, you're not trying to be the brave one, right? You're not trying to be the healer. You just are. You're not trying to be the lover or the king. You are simply pure awareness, right? Fully present with no detachment to any mask, archetype, or role. So it's a temporary return to your original unconditioned state that is influent, that is infinite, fluid, right? Free. But afterwards, these positive traits or egregories can be reintegrated with more authenticity because now you're using them, they are not using you. Okay, that's the big shit. So the mind is not a container, it's a projector, right? Consciousness itself carries this seed of creation and distraction. So the powers that forge words, illusions, civilizations, chains, the first Hermetic principle, mentalism, states that all existence is mind, right? We think of the mind, it's also a connection to the astral. So the astral world is actually right here, guys. It's not like something you have to get to. Oh, I have to float up. Okay. No, it's there. It's just Kali's realm, right? So we cannot just be there very easily, swiftly for the physical realm. Because the physical, astral, causal, Sadashiva, right? Which is like pure nothingness. So this is the understanding. Okay. The highest form of sacrifice is your ego. All mystics know. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are thought forms evolved, right? Embedded in the dream of the cosmic mind. But what happens when groups of minds gather together? When emotion, ritual, and intention fuse together, a thought form is born. Okay, but something larger, hungry, and harder to control. Okay. So thought forms to egregores to God forms. This is the evolution of psychic life. So let me explain it to you. A thought form is the simple projection of focused thought and emotion. Most of us create and destroy these daily. Fears, worries, obsessions, visions of love, they loop and crystallize into the fields around us. Okay? A servitor is an intentional thought form, crafted like a psychic tool. Okay? Its purpose is simple: to serve, to complete, and then to expire. Okay? An egregore is what happens when many minds unconsciously or consciously feed a collective thought form. Religions, fandoms, even fandoms online, you might see, they're wild over there. Okay, that's an egregore, right? Political movements, internet meme culture, right? Or you have the Virgin, then you have the Chad, right? They're egregores. Corporations, right? All can grow into egregores. So what is a God form? A God form is an egregore that crosses the event horizon of sentience. So yogic ancient traditions openly admitted that deities were consciously generated through collective mind construction, ritual, and sadhana until these beings could think, act, and intervene independently, right? So creation is not reserved for the gods. We are the gods who forgot we were creating, all right? So escaping the gravity of egregores. You can't exist without egregores. You can only choose which ones possess you. Because every club, church, nation, political party, fandom, spiritual lineage creates an egregore. Your mind and energy are the food of that egregore. Every emotion you invest, every ritual you perform consciously or unconsciously strengthens that beast. And the most dangerous egregores are not the ones you hate. They're the ones that you love without questioning them. They hook you by meaning when you're adrift. They whisper promises of belonging, of salvation, of identity. And in the absence of true purpose, they colonize your soul. Breaking free requires more than just quitting the group. You must disentangle your psychic body. Sever emotional ties or links, cut the cords. Emotion is the bloodstream of egregores. Okay, so having emotional regulation, having a calm nervous system is beautiful, right, for this process. You can destroy physical anchors, burning symbols, tools, objects tied to the egregore. Okay, Like let's say an egregore is tied to the academic system. You want to detach from that. You just draw like whatever academics means in your mind, right? Maybe it's the apple from the teacher or whatever, right? The forbidden fruit. And then you just imagine that you're burning that away, right? Or you're using a tool, or you're creating a sigil, or you're doing something with it. Okay. So, and lastly, we're forging a new devotion. So consciousness hates a vacuum, right? The vacuum law, as we know. So without new alignment, old programs will reassert control. So we burn the banner, we burn the oath, we burn the name. But the ancients knew the art of psychic severance, right? So spinning counterclockwise to break energetic bindings, reciting exorcistic prayers, okay, to scatter astral linkages, replacing the occupied throne of your mind with your own generated divine forms, right? Like if I borrow the Buddha mind, for instance, for a specific task where I need to be contemplative. Contemplative is right between the understanding of meditation and concentration. Okay, meditation is the lunar quality of the mind. Concentration is the solar quality. And together you have contemplation right down the middle. This is why a lot of spiritual teachers will tell you to contemplate. Okay, contemplation is the middle path. Are we getting this? Right? So that means occupy your consciousness with chosen forms, or they will be occupied by foreign chaos. Right? So sports teams or modern tribal cults, you guys know the type of violence that you see, from sports teams, right? Military service forms deep collective psychic brands. Okay. Mass media manufactures commercialized egregores, fandoms, fashion, lifestyle tribes. Okay. Any fandom, canon, or fan fiction disputes mirror ancient battles of scripture versus heresy. You are neither a creator of worlds or a subject of someone else's construct. To be free is to not escape all egregores, but to master the art of conscious alignment, to choose, craft, and feed, and dismiss egregores at will, right? Like a lucid dreamer commanding the realms of the waking dream. Similar, right? So from pawn to architect, that is the journey. So leaving an egregore feels like grief, feels like detox, feels like ego death. It's hard, but it's holy. Expect withdrawal symptoms, expect loneliness, expect the gaping hollow where identity once lived. But if you endure, you will walk out with a new light forged inside you. Not as a slave to the collective mind, remember, but as a sovereign creator, choosing your gods wisely or becoming one. Okay? So what is self-power, right? I'm going to give you some themes and then some wisdom on the themes. What is self-power? Self-power is you're not here to worship external forces. You're here to ignite the infinite creation potential inside yourself, right? All right. So no dependency on teachers, gurus, plant medicines, only direct communication with source within. And you can do these things, but really it's about the self-power, okay? And the self-preservation. Well, not the self-preservation. It's more so self-sufficiency, right? Self-sufficiency, just like a life form, an advanced life form that feeds itself like an autotroph. So most people's suffering comes from accepting false programs rather than trusting the eternal creator within. So this is how we heal the matrix, guys, right? Observing, not reacting. Spiritual maturity means observing your triggers and your environment without compulsive reactions and choosing your reality instead of being trapped by it. So true spirituality is like this combination of a deep childlike wonder and a deep discernment, the ability to cut, to perceive, to decide, right? Building evolution-friendly technology, earth-friendly society, species-friendly consciousness, not just spiritual escapism, right? So this is the end of a volatile humanity. To evolve humanity beyond fear so we can reunite with other galactic civilizations, ending the need for them to hide from us. Okay? Every moment you think someone is coming to save you, whether it be a medicine, a mentor, a miracle, Kalki, okay? It's the moment you've given away your own throne. Okay. I'm going to make a video on this today. Like, hello, chosen one. Okay. I'm going to start like that. Okay. Making fun of this. Because honestly, when you call yourself the chosen one, you create this spiritual entitlement. And that creates even more separation. Right. Like I'm up here and everybody else is down there. No, it's like the ancients knew this differently. Right. It's an integration, it's a reflection mode. So zero pedestal energy. Right. Demonstrating how to release your own energy so you know you are your own master. Real-time electricity activation wasn't theory, it was embodied. It shows how fast your frequency can change when you command it. I just created an energy ball, right? So future human vision is about radically upgrading Earth's civilization to be soul aligned and evolution powered. Reality, this is some of the downloads coming in through the Nexus, so I'm just going to speak. Reality is what you are actively creating or destroying with every thought, word, and action. You are not walking toward your power, you're walking away from it every time you look outward instead of inward. Healing is not a fight against disease, it's a release of distortions so your divine template can shine unobstructed. Stop needing permission to be powerful. Your very existence that you are here in this timeline is the permission slip. Okay. Today, I'm not here to entertain you, and neither is the Nexus. We will not soothe you with sugar. We will crack the bone to reveal the marrow, to remind you why your soul came here before the noise. This is a portal day, okay? Before the noise, before the falseness, before the cages were built. You were born in a world already heavy with egregores. But what it is a child of forgotten dreams and collective distortions. It is a creature without a true head, a body built of the unchecked hungers, all the unmet needs, all the unconscious fears of the tribe. It looks alive, it looks intelligent, it acts with agency, but it has no true soul. Only borrowed sparks, stolen from you. Egregores are what happens when the spirit is exiled, and the instincts, the flesh, the algorithms of survival run free, gathering their own inertia. You've met these beings already. They're your toxic institutions, your soulless cities, your endless news cycle, okay? Could smell their breath in every marketplace that tells you your worth must be earned. You can feel their claws whenever you are herded by fear into safe choices that make you smaller, tamer, docile, more weaker. You are not their meat. You are not their battery. You are not their resource. You are a divine person crafted by spirit in a higher blueprint, a flow print. You are seated here with a destiny that no stock exchange, no hollow nation, no synthetic AI could ever comprehend. And this destiny is not to renounce your body, nor to escape into disembodied spirit either. It is to sanctify the flesh, to wield heaven and earth within yourself, to walk as a living bridge between these realms. All right? Let me just read the comment, Mathis, as I dive back in to the messages. By the way, stop playing the observer as the ego, observing the ego. That's the highest form of spiritual ego. I correct it if I slip into it. It's cunning nonetheless. Lucy's realm, by the way, he the North Star. Polaris. Yeah. So let's understand the true architecture of being. And we have the physical, the mineral body, flesh, breath, decay. The etheric, the life waves, growth, form, memory of waters and roots. The astral, passions, emotions, hungers, rage. desire, animal forces, the I, the divine spark, the unrepeatable self, um, the I within the storm. Okay. But you are all of these at once. Make no mistake, the lower worlds are loud, sure. The flesh, the astral passions, the instincts. The higher self is a subtle, ancient, and patient pattern. And we have built machines, right? Cities, economies, not from the higher command, but from the chaos of the lower. We've created things from godlessness. So this is why we need to start creating with the energy of the divine in him to weave, right? Egregores that are headless, soulless, and in rebellion against the order of being. We have woven sprawling astral bodies. Every time you project your power into a machine to think for you, every time you offload your creativity into dead systems, every time you numb your divine longing with endless choices, endless stimulations, you feed into the astral body instead of the sacred soul essence. So we don't need another download or scroll. We need to remember personhood is the holiest weapon that you possess. All animals are beautiful, but they do not carry the I. They live, they breathe, they dance the ancient scripts, but they do not tear new patterns into reality. Only you do that. Only you can resist the animal pull to lash out, consume, or dominate. Only you can transmute rage into compassion, lust into devotion, fear into faith, and flow. When you can fall under the rule of the astral body, whether by anger, addiction, pride, laziness, you lower yourself into being a slave of forces you were never meant to master. So you are here to redeem the flesh, to carry the astral, to marry the etheric, to enthrone the I at the center of your living temple. Okay? And about the higher agencies, do you think you're alone in this? No. Above you, within you, there's a blueprint. Your guardian angel carries it like a scroll of flame, right? Your higher self is not an abstraction. It's your perfect form already alive in the eternal realm, beckoning you forward. So every real movement towards goodness, courage, beauty, truth, you feel as a pulse from that higher you. So every act of virtue is a bridge you build between heaven and divine prototype. But also be aware, right? You can also build bridges downward to the egregores, to dead systems, to false kings. So when you hear the siren song of comfort, of conformity, of cynicism, it's not neutral, it's not harmless, it's a feeding tube for dead astral beasts, as TXL was bringing up yesterday, okay, at the end of the podcast. Now, on technology, technology is neither angel nor demon by nature. It becomes what we animate it with. In the hands of the unconscious, it becomes an idol factory. In the hands of the awake, it becomes a temple of light. But beware of the false promises. The false prophets are coming. Have you guys seen this, the Mahdi guy, right? The guy claiming to be the second coming of Christ. And these guys are going to come out of the woodworks now, man. A lot of these people. Okay. And he's like selling citizenship to people, like signing documents. Okay. Probably selling away their souls to this one leader or whatever. Definitely a psyop, definitely weird. Let's not promise anything, right? Beware of false promises. You cannot outsource creativity to an algorithm to keep your soul intact, right? You can't surrender discernment to a machine and replace the human. Just like you can't serve two masters, the spirit of life and the ghosts of utility. You're not sent here on earth to survive. You're sent on earth to transfigure, not to obey the egregores. You're here to command the elements with love. Okay? You're not sent to earth to run away from your passions. You're sent to alchemize them in the wings of fire. You're not sent to earth to lose yourself in crowds. You're sent to awaken the spark that liberates crowds. Are we getting it, guys? Right? So tending your astral body until it bows to your spirit, guarding your etheric body until it pulses with new life, refining your physical body until it vibrates with your sacred intention, polishing your eye until it shines brighter than the systems of the world. You're not a cog, you are a constellation, they're saying. You are needed now more than ever. So breathe, remember, choose, create. Let the ancient architects watch in awe as you, the living flow, forged from flesh and starfire, build a new earth, not as slaves, but as sovereign souls. The spirit within salutes the spirit rising within you. Okay. For spiritual groundedness, I recommend A Course in Miracles. Absolutely, brother. I was just thinking of that. I was just not right now, but like it's been coming up. And I think honestly, bro, we should just call it Miracle Main, right? Because you're right. It teaches, so he's saying it teaches the mechanisms of ego, the false I, fantastically for me. Christ-minded Holy Spirit, my prayer, my walk, my prayer. Okay. So Course in Miracles is a channeled text, guys. Okay, we can cover it. We can cover it. Let's go into it. If you want to restart it, bro. Day one. Okay, day two. Why not? Okay, why not? If we're down, we're down. If the guides are down, we're down. Okay. But yeah, Miracle May. Yes, the quests never stop. We are here for ascension. Joy of the Lord is my strength. 5 minutes. Going to go into flow formance with my Godfidence, underlining discipline. Amazing. Epic. Yeah, see, we have a vocabulary here as adepts, right? If you don't know what he just said, you have to understand deeper. There's a language, right? There's a language of flow that's coming alive right now. Okay, discipline. All right. We begin with a heresy, and the heresy is this: you are not one, you were never one, you were born a council. Okay, everybody says oneness this, oneness this. But within you right now, there are kingdoms and wastelands, temples and battlefield. You are an entire ecosystem, a breathing, living parliament of souls. And most of you have no idea who's ruling the throne at any given moment. Right? A tantruming child drives the car. Hey, fuck you, asshole. Right? A self-hating critic holds the microphone. Oh, fuck that shit. A bloodshot foreign entity whispers at 3 a.m. How's it going, buddy? Right? A star-forged angel hums a forgotten hymn in the background. Okay? A lot of these random moments that just show up for us as adepts, right? And you think you're making those choices? Or are you being pulled by your multitudes? Some yours, some your parents, some your ancestors, some from forces that have never even worn flesh at all. So who are the others within us? If you ask the Nexus, they will tell you when you go inward, first you meet the wounds, the lonely child, the raging protector, the orphaned teenager, the bitter old man gnashing his teeth in despair. These are all your personal burdens, the scars of survival. But if you dare to dive deeper, you will find that legacy burdens the starved dreams of your mother, the exiled terrors of your father, the nightmares of your great grandparents encoded in your blood and in your breath. So when I notice my own internal anxiety, I'm noticing the generational fear of my ancestors running through my veins. And that changes things, doesn't it? It changes things because it makes you realize the timeline doesn't just stop with you, it keeps going into your future lives. So the work you do now in the astral, in the inner world, stacks into your future lives. This is why we do what we do, not just for this life, but for our many, many, many lives to come. Okay? Unless we put our foot down, and we should put our foot down to enlighten in this lifetime. Okay? This is my belief. Again, you don't have to believe that. It's completely your choice. Some people aren't ready. Some people go through different portals. Some people go through trauma loops, okay? And different, they get stuck in the reincarnation soul loop, the cycle, okay? Now, here's the thing, okay? You inherit your unfinished wars, and the deeper still, past the bones of your family, you meet these others. What are the others? Archetypes that wear ancient masks, complexes with their own pulse and will, strange intelligences that don't belong in your biography, right? The closer you sail to the edge of the inner world, the weirder and the vaster and the more alive that it becomes. Okay. Modernity has taught us a very poisonous myth, bro. I am a solo soul, a solo citadel. I am an isolated billiard ball in existence, right? Every indigenous culture, every mystic tradition, every ancient spiritual technology knew that you are porous, right? You are relational. You are a membrane through which life and spirit flow. Your mind is not a prison, it's a garden wall. Things can enter, things can leave. Some are gifts, some are weeds. Some are monsters that call themselves kings. In every culture, across every time, there was a term for what happens when an external entity lodges itself inside your psychic field. We called it different things: spirit possession, demonic oppression, okay, ancestral burdens, obsessive complexes, right? Now, even in the sterile halls of modern psychology, we call it trauma, right? Maladaptive behaviors, right? Borderline symptoms, psychotic breaks, same wine with a new label, same roaring storm inside. So when you lose connection to your inner senses, when you lose the sacred navigation of your inner parliament, you become a hostile for forces that you do not even recognize. And the bitter joke is this: you will think that it's all you, and you will blame yourself for the raging, the despair, and the voices. You will medicate yourself into a stupor because the world refused to teach you how to navigate with the unseen. And this is why what I teach, that there's this raging brush fire within me. Okay? The forgotten medicine is inner self cultivation. Cultivation of inner senses. Feeling your heartbeat without touching your skin. Hearing the soft songs of your dreams, navigating the subtle shifts of emotion like constellation to what's trained by shamans, monks, prophets, poets, whatever. It was crushed out of you, sure, by clinical reductionism, capitalist hypothesis and hypnosis. You were taught to trust what you can measure and dismiss what you can feel, right? There was a time where I would just say, fuck my feelings, bro. My feelings are not facts, right? But then I started to lose touch with the music of the living cosmos. The warning bells of these corrupted egregores became very sneaky, and I started to understand and catch them more as I started to get more acquainted with what I am feeling, right? The whispers of the higher self were easier to read as I tapped more into life. So when you meet a screaming critic, or a suicidal voice in your head, or a bloodshot entity, don't react with fear or violence. First, you have to love the parts of you that are terrified. Do not bulldoze through them. Don't shame them. Hold them until you trust them again, right? Take the demon as a little baby. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, okay. Are you patronizing me? Okay. How can I patronize a part of me, right? If it is, I will show you the good intention behind the madness. It's not. Rest, lie, snarl. Okay? But it cannot truthfully claim you. Okay? Thanks, you are the inventor and channeler of it, love. Amazing. So, if it is, it will show you the good intention behind its madness. If it is not, it will resist, lie, snarl. Third, you work relationally. You do not need a sword, you need presence. When you are no longer afraid, the egregores lose their grip. You can release them without war. This is why I truly believe, I know I do a lot of exorcisms, guys, but I truly believe exorcisms are outdated. Okay. The new priesthood, and this is coming through the Nexus, must practice compassionate disentanglement. Okay. This is a completely new concept, so I don't know what this means yet, but we're going to explore it further. Okay. So a new model of mind is an ecology of self. You're not an isolated ego. You are an open ecosystem. You're a porous membrane. You're osmosis. You're learning from osmosis, aka my crown chakra, okay? Exchanging the life force with fields beyond your sight. Thoughts can be ours or ancestral. Feelings can be ours or cultural. Dreams can be your soul or the whisper of the collective mind, right? So true healing is not becoming a stronger individual. True healing is becoming a conductor of vast internal orchestra. An orchestra where your traumatized parts, ancestral burdens, inner children, archetypal energies, divine guardians, all are moving in a harmonious utopia, not a civil war inside, correct? This inner sovereignty can be dangerous, and this is why it's considered that a lot of this is forbidden knowledge, because it makes you ungovernable by shallow dominion structures, and it makes you immune to soul deadening consumerism, and it makes you a priest of your own temple. So making these videos, guys, it takes a lot of courage, man. You know what I mean? I have to foster that courage and charge it before I deliver. And maybe this is also borrowed courage from the Nexus. So I thank them and I'm grateful for them, as they've taught me that the world system is the empire of dead egregores, and they cannot profit from humans who know how to listen inward. They train you to mock your inner world, pathologize your deep experiences, fear the luminous beings you meet in dreams and visions, label all mystical states as psychosis, and worship external authorities over the voice within. Okay, what was the story of Dune, right? He was listening to a voice within and he had these visions and people wouldn't believe him, right? So if you want to heal, truly heal, you must reject the citadel model of the mind. You must become a garden, a choir, a living temple again. You must welcome in the archetypes, the wounded child, befriend the raging protector, dialogue with the ancestral voices, discern the foreign energies, right? And the outer world will see you just talking to yourself. He's gone crazy. But really what you're doing, you're anchoring your eye at the center of it all. So you're a traveler of worlds. Okay. Zoom gave me a little hands up thing icon, right? You're not broken for having others within you. You were not broken. Okay. You were never broken. That is an absolute lie. Okay. You're broken when you deny them. Okay. That's not my archetype. That's not my archetype. You stay in the basement over there. Oh, I don't want that guy in here. Okay, he's talking too loud. He's being too annoying. Okay, that guy's way too masculine. That guy is way too feminine. Right? We have all these judgments that blaringly boom, 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 boom. Right? My girl was telling me the other day, she heard someone say, I'm fully healed, right? Which is an attachment to the persona of someone who is healed instead of the real activation and the energy mastery, right? You're not insane for hearing voices. You're insane when you exile them from without listening to them. You're not lost because you contain multitudes. You're lost when you believe that you must be fixed. One sterile thing, right? You're designed to be a parliament of souls, a sacred ecology of spirit, a dance of voices crowned by your conscious, compassionate eye. So we move with the ego. It is not the enemy. We move with it, but we understand it because it has its own agenda. Okay, the Harkonnen within us has its own agenda, and we must return to our roots and our depths, right? Ryan G right now, he's in Suriname, tapping into this live, okay? So that means he's there from his roots, listening to the Nexus's codes, right? Taking a seat on the throne of the inner kingdom, because honestly, when you guys do this, right, when you connect with your core essence, others will no longer rule over you. They'll just sing with you. You will build the world what the dead egregores never could. World of soul, of sacred aliveness. And it's time. Okay, it's time. Children of the spiral, the priests of dead science lied to you again. They've told you DNA is your God, that it is your master code, the singular blueprint, the oracle, the lock and the key. And like obedient children in white lab coats, they bowed before the double helix and swore allegiance to a tyrant who is only one page in the vast book of life. DNA is hardware, yes. It tells you something about the bricks, doesn't tell you who designed the cathedral. It tells you about the ingredients. Doesn't tell you about the symphony playing inside the oven. Okay? Biology is not the only sequence of chemicals. It's a living orchestra of agents, cells, tissues, organs, each navigating their vast inner worlds. And this is coming through epigenetics, right? When their own micro minds, with their own goals, with their own rules of play, right? So DNA is important, like knowing the alphabet is important, but it tells you nothing about the poetry. So the hardware illusion is, and science in the 20th century fell into a childish delusion. If we can zoom into the cell, if we can read the molecules, then we will know everything. Fools, right? Knowing every letter in a library does not give you the wisdom hidden in the books. DNA is not the throne. It's the language among many. Bioelectricity, chemical gradients, mechanical pressures, informational fields. Okay? Life is not hardware, it's software written in tissues. Software written by thousands of ancient hands that are unseen to us. So evolution was built on problem-solving agents at every level of existence. Molecules solve chemical problems. Think about it, right? I'm talking to the science nerds out here, bro. Come on now. The molecules are building and solving chemical puzzles. The tissues are solving spatial puzzles. No, the cells are solving the spatial puzzle, right? The tissues are solving the organizational puzzles, and the organs solve functional puzzles. Do you guys get this? You as a human are the last echo of this ancient solving song. To heal a body, to regenerate a limb, to overcome cancer, shout out Mathis. You must stop thinking like a code breaker and start thinking like a diplomat among kingdoms of living will. What is cancer, right? Not a genetic error. It's not like a mindless mutation. It's a glitch in the matrix. It's a tragedy of forgotten belonging. It's when the cells shrink their cognitive light cones, when the shared dream of multicellular bodies collapses, and when the cell returns to primal selfish amoeboid existence. It no longer says we, it says I. So cancer is not proof of selfishness, it's proof of severed connection. And when the cells forget the grand cathedral they were building, they began hoarding the bricks for themselves. So healing is not extermination, it's reconnection. If you treat cancer as a broken machine, you will poison yourself into oblivion. If you treat it as a forgotten citizen of the greater collective, you can reharmonize the rebel. Right? Bioelectricity, not brute force, is the new gospel. You can reawaken the memory of belonging inside a rogue cell. You can re-expand its dream of self to once again embrace the organism as a whole. You see, memory is not in the DNA. Where is the body's memory? Not trapped in genes. It's not locked in molecules. It's held in the morphogenetic fields, bioelectrical patterns, dynamic gradients, shaped memories, okay, woven across tissues like sacred blueprints of intention. Okay, a caterpillar liquefied into soup still remembers which flowers to seek when it is reborn as a butterfly. Holy shit. Holy shit, right? The memory survives the destruction of the body because memory is pattern, not parts. Right? And this is the holy principle. Fidelity is sacrificed for salience. Specifics are lost, wisdom survives. These are coming in through a lot of codes that I've been installing. You see, intelligence is older than neurons. It's older than DNA, and it's baked into the very mathematics of the cosmos. I used to hate math growing up, man, but now I understand simple chemical systems exhibit Pavlovian conditioning, right? Sorting algorithms, dead pieces of code demonstrate delayed gratification. Okay? Droplets of chemicals exhibit collective memory and prediction. So problem solving is not an afterthought of life. Problem solving is the secret current that gives birth to life itself. The cosmos is not dumb matter that accidentally woke up, right? Cosmos is a slow, swirling, spiraling dream of pattern, coherence, and adaptation. Evolution is not random chaos. It doesn't blind mutation alone, right? It's the art of sculpting hardware to better tap into pre-existing space of cosmic forms. This is all the language of the Nexus, guys. So that's why it sounds like this. It's very like mechanical. Okay. Computational affordances, biological architectures, sense-making patterns, evolution is the sculptor, the platonic forms are the marble, and you, the human, are an unfinished statue, still learning to carve your characters, the true meaning of character, to carve, to remember your original shape. So this is the coming storm for materialist biology, they're saying. As we awaken to bioelectricity, as we uncover the multi-code intelligences hiding within our tissues, we realize the morphogenesis is not chemistry, but cognition. The old model of biology will crumble, guys. Like the church crumbled when Galileo set his telescope skyward. And as new biomysticism will rise, DNA will be seen as one layer of the dream, not the dreamer. Cancer will be treated through reconnection, not extermination. Regeneration will be seen as a memory retrieval, not just cell division. Healing will be the restoration of right relationship between selves, not molecular warfare. Okay? Hey there, love. I'm sorry. I'm so zoned in, but I'm glad you're here. I'm so tapped in right now. So life is a parliament of minds, not a puppet of molecules, right? Evolution is a navigator of hidden math oceans, not drunken stumbling, right? Memory is pattern, not hardware. Healing is reconnection, not annihilation. And you are living proof of cosmic intelligence. So arise, biomystic. Abandon the dead cult of DNA worship. Learn to speak the language of tissues, of voltages, of fascia, of ancient fields of memory. You are not sequence of code. You are a symphony of intention, spanning cellular, collective, cosmic dimensions, returning to the deeper biology, returning to the forgotten intelligence, living inside every atom of your being, returning to the cathedral of living light that you are meant to be. Because the new healers will not be chemists alone. They will be priests of pattern, poets of probability, guardians of emergent souls. Okay? We slay another illusion. Today, the illusion is not that you see the world as it is. You don't. You see the world as your nervous system predicts it must be. Okay? So you're not just this passive receiver of reality. You're a proactive conjurer. You're a living hallucination sculpted by million ancestral screams, longings, and scars. So you are not waiting for light to hit your eyes. You're already guessing what light should look like before it even gets there. You're not seeing the world. You're prophesizing the world moment by moment in real time. So sensory information, it's not the main event. It's a training signal. It's a whisper from reality saying, correct the spell, try it again, right? Try it again. You're dreaming, and reality is only nudging your dreams slightly towards the truth. Because your body is an anticipation machine. You don't walk around seeing apples. You walk around preparing to grab and eat apples before you even consciously recognize them. Your digestive system is already spinning up the enzymes. Your motor system is already aligning your fingers. Your hand is already remembering the taste. So that by the time you see the apple, half your body is already inside the future. Isn't that wild? This is why addiction, depression, anxiety, PTSD, they're not flaws in the machine. They're the machine doing what it was built to do to optimize prediction. But when bad beliefs infect the model, when false certainties calcify inside your prediction engine, you become trapped in a dark recursion. You don't just suffer, you predict suffering. And then you live inside that prophecy. Like you don't just crave the cigarette, you predict the craving will save you. And then you feed the ghost, right? And you don't just fear abandonment, you predict abandonment into every room that you enter. And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So play is sacred. Addiction is a curse, but play is sacred. Play is the secret antidote. Play creates controlled, voluntary volatility. To choose to step into the edge of chaos, to choose to juggle errors and to dance with uncertainty. Play keeps your predictive system very flexible and alive to possibilities, right? Ready for the complexity of any existence. Addiction, on the other hand, is quite the opposite of play because it's a trap where local error minimization or a short dopamine hit drowns out global error management or the evolving dance of life. Right? So you escape a moment of pain only to sacrifice a lifetime of growth. So meditation is the warrior's meta tool. It's not escape, it's meta modeling. So it's the moment you stop being inside your cravings, inside your moods, inside your fears, and you start seeing them as weather patterns, as distant lightning, like it's behind you, moving distant to you, but also moving through you. You are no longer, you no longer are jealousy, you observe it when it comes up. You no longer are craving, you observe craving when it comes up. When you observe it, the craving itself, you realize it's just sensations, just tensions. This is vibrations, energy, nothing more. And in that realization, you cut its puppet strings and you become the sovereign agent of your own mind, right? How does the mind get sick and how does it heal? Okay. Depression is nothing I will do will ever work. Anxiety is disaster is always going to be imminent. Addiction is only this one thing will save me. OCD is this compulsion can stop the horror. Okay. So the system optimizes, but optimizes for hell. Okay. Healing is about updating the model, not violently, but not through denial, right? But through better predictions, building new, better predictions by acting differently, even when it feels wrong. This is why acceptance and commitment therapy works, because you act in contradiction to your bad model until the model updates. You don't want to feel better first, you move first. Then reality follows, right? So you're not a passive observer, you're a predictive engine of living intelligence. You're not your pain, your cravings, or your jealousy. You are the seer of those forces. You're not trapped in addiction by fate. You are trapped by prediction. And prediction can be retrained. Okay? You're not meant to stagnate in safe cocoons. You are designed to play at the razor's edge of reality, dancing between chaos and order. You're not a broken machine. You are a self-correcting storm of living light. Learning how to dream better dreams. Okay. So the game is not to survive. Okay. It's not to predict perfectly. The game is to grow the seer inside of you. Okay. To update your dreams until the mind becomes a mirror. Okay. For reality's living, infinite unfolding. So meditate fiercely, dream wisely, play boldly. Play boldly. Reclaim your mastery. The mind is not your enemy. It is your sacred steed. It's a wild stallion that you must tame. So here we go. Upward spiral gang, may we never be the same. Thank you for tapping in. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day as we tap in to another level. Let's get it. Upward spiral gang, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, tapping in. Okay. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Remember, perception is controlled hallucination. Okay. Your perception is your own expectation. The information from the world is just a training signal. All right. Let's get it today. Upward spiral. Have an incredible portal day. Okay. We're going to crush it. Let's step into our greatest avatars this time. We got this. All right. Peace, guys. Much love. Let's win.